What's going on, guys? It's Rob from Combat Self-Defense. And normally on this channel, we approach self-defense from the perspective of striking. Everything we do is trying to get us closer to our opponent so we can throw our punches or we can throw our kicks. But that's probably not the best option most of the time. In fact, 9 times out of 10, you're better off trying to grapple and put your opponent on the ground rather than throwing strikes where suddenly you become the assailant. So to that end, we're going to take a look at 3 simple judo throws that you should know to keep yourself safe. Alright guys, so it's actually pretty difficult to do judo on your own, so I brought in black belt Brad Tidwell to show us how it's done. So Brad, what do you have for us today?
Today I want to work on 3 throws, of course. The first one, everyone asks me, how can you safely take out a friend or family, right? And so this is Yoko Otoshi, and I always felt that the father, or the stepfather, or the uncle was like very imposing. And then they're drunk and it's a family environment or whatever, but you really don't want to hurt anybody, but he's about to hurt you. Someone's about to go. So this is definitely a self-defense move. Okay. So get a drink or something, hold a sort of a thing like he should be holding it.
This is nice. A H2O beer. You know what it is?
This is a sort of distraction for him.
Sure.
Probably he'll have one because he's going to be using it to talk.
Wait a minute.
And then this is when it's become a situation. This is him getting in my zone.
Right.
Just, this is enough of that. You don't have to move fast for this. This is nice and smooth and slow. You just slip up here. So the context for this throw has 3 nice pieces to it.
Sure.
And while earlier we were working on this in standard judo equipment, the gi and stuff for better kuzushi, all of these things are designed to be applied no gi.
Right.
Because controlling someone's weight should be able to be done whatever they're wearing.
Right.
So in the first part of this move, you're going to try to get control of this elbow. As soon as you put a little weight in it, subconsciously he's going to put some weight into it, just as much as he does. That's all you want to do is stick to him.
Right.
And then this one, again, same kind of thing. They'll stabilize for you, and then you start to move that head. And once that head hits that foot, that's our spot. So the first part of this is slipping in and gaining control of these 2 pieces, stabilizing yourself, and then part 2 is to kind of get the kuzushi. You're going to try to push this head over here. That's when you commit. When you know that.
When my head's past my foot.
Yeah. Then you go.
Now, are you falling on your foot, or are you just catching my leg with your ankle?
This is a side fall.
Right.
And so, as I lay this down, your foot naturally catches behind this knee. But by this point, you can't pick that foot up.
Right, because I'm already here anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was approach number 1. If you're talking about your drunk uncle, stepfather, whatever, who you can't hurt.
A friendly takedown.
A tussle.
A tussle.
But what if I want to do you some harm? What if I don't know you? What if I actually want to take something from you?
This is a very nice move for finishing things quickly.
Okay.
And it's very applicable. But it's more for a grappling situation, and as judo tend to be. So this will be trying to close the distance into the 3rd ring, because the first ring of combat, you got to avoid that.
Right.
Second ring of combat, these sorts of things.
Right.
3rd ring is where you're actually can control of each other's balance.
Here. Yeah.
All right, and it's who's going to win this move, and that's where judo really specializes in crashing the planet into people.
Right. So I'm here and I want to throw you some punches. How are you going to take those away from me?
Well, as we're coming in, you want to take a full block.
Bang.
And then now I've got it. Now I'm close enough. And then we start to control that head again. To really score a finishing liver shot from a hook, takes some timing and practice, and so that's really my weak spot, is trying not to get that hit.
Right. And let's be super honest, we're talking self-defense.
This guy doesn't know.
Yeah, I'm not going to come down here and do that anyway. I'm going to step in that one.
It's going to be the brawl that needs to be finished now.
Right.
Because this guy, if he's alone, that's one thing. We have to assume that guy's there.
I don't like that guy. So, in the traditional way that we did it, we were here, and you did this on my bicep from there, right?
Yes.
But now when we do it from like a self-defense context where we're now in a clinch, you don't really need that extra space. You just pinch me with your overhook.
Whatever we get here is fine. I need this head.
Okay.
And this head, I can even have my head over here. But as long as his head
You just
is
need to
over
guide
that
me.
foot, there we have it.
So, I don't outweigh you. I'm not taller than you are, but I'm gonna ground myself this time.
Okay.
Let's see how far we can go.
Okay.
So I'll be here. Wham, bang, boom.
That might have been a taller bonus.
That didn't seem that much harder for you, even when I was like, we're just gonna sit down.
Right, because as I climb most of my weight onto your shoulder and
Right.
your head, I'm putting that head back behind that
Right.
foot, and then there's the wind.
Right, because either I'm gonna sit down and try to fight it, in which case a real judoka is gonna realize, well, he's going this way now. Let's just sweep out the other leg, or I'm gonna have to go with it.
Yeah, we can get into counter throwing,
Right.
baiting them into things and making it even more fun.
But again, that's not self-defense. That's not the purview of what we're doing, but it'd be fun. But so again, like I'm not a slouch at being thrown, so I understand grounding my weight, but I didn't really have a choice. It seemed like you just still went. There he goes.
That's why these throws that we're going to be working on are going to be easy in that regard, because we're going to concentrate on the head position and the kuzushi involved. That's going to make all of that obsolete.
Okay. So there's that word for like the fourth time, kuzushi. What is kuzushi?
Kuzushi is going to be controlling someone's balance and stuff. So throwing him while he's holding still is no good. I have to get him moving, and then I capitalize
Okay.
on the move. The kuzushi is the move that starts the flow.
Okay. So it's water bending.
It is what
So that was Yoko Otoshi,
Yoko Otoshi.
which is Japanese for throwing the drunk uncle.
Softly throwing drunk uncle.
What's next?
This is going to be Harigashi.
Harigashi.
Goshi's going to be a hip throw, and this one allows for mistakes to happen. So normally in an ogoshi you're going to have hip on hip kind of a throw, and it has to be really perfect, and it's kind of dangerous for shoulders and arms in
Sure.
poor form. But this one allows you to change your opponent around a lot and loosen up your placement a lot. So as you're going to start off, you're going to grab his head and this bicep. And as you kind of move him around to this side, at this positioning, this is where you start to initiate the throw. I'm going to start to put his head over that foot, and I'm going to come in, and there's Harai.
So with a standard ogoshi, a standard hip toss, it would look more like you're resting me on the hip.
Yeah, with a standard ogoshi, it's all hip. But there's a good chance he'll slip
I'll
off.
just walk around it basically.
He's got a big belly, or he's got springy legs, or something like that.
Right.
And so, with this first beginning, you then remove that option for him.
So rather than resting on your hip, I'm more resting around the back of the leg.
The hip is still there.
Right.
But if I missed,
Right.
it would catch still.
Okay.
And it might even happen that he's out that far, and you still end up getting
Still don't have
it
much
to
of a
work.
choice.
We need to get the kuzushi going.
Sure.
And so there is a way to do the kuzushi this way,
Right.
but it takes a judoka to really capitalize on the
Right.
space that you create with that.
Okay.
This one is more happening.
Right.
It's more exciting. You can actually kind of do this and nobody sees anything happening.
Right, because your head's not moving.
So, opening two, I'm pulling you, but I could just as easily have just kind of
Here.
faked it.
Yeah.
And that's why Harai is a very applicable throw
Right.
in these environments.
Let me try the Harigashi, because I'm a little bit shorter than you are, and I want to see how that works for me.
This is actually a really good throw for you. Because you are a little shorter,
Right.
being that your hip is a couple inches lower than me, this gives you a bonus.
So I'm here, step, bang, got your balance, here, bang. Yeah, my hip didn't have to go anywhere. I just basically turned, and there you went.
He's going to be so much taller than you and weighs so much.
Yeah.
You know how everybody works out the top part.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this, seeing me on camera, I'm not actually a giant human being. Like, I'm 5'5", at best, yeah. But this throw works super well for me because, again, I'm here, pull you off balance, bang, and I really just turn. That's it. Even if you try to fight me with that, all I have to do is kind of squat down a little bit to get under your hip.
To get even more power
Right.
if you need it.
So for you to do it to me, who's shorter than you,
See, that's where it's kind of a handicap. There's ways where I'll squat down low on this leg just so that I can get equal with your hip
right.
before I do.
When I was doing it to you, I felt like putting my leg out there was more of a danger to me because my hip is going to have more power. So I wanted to be more here. Like, but for you, I'm noticing you want to throw me more on the leg. because of where our hips are aligned.
Yeah, I'm gonna need, at my height there, I'm gonna need to kind of pop
Right.
you around that corner while you just bend
Yeah.
me around your leg, and it
Right.
happens a lot easier for you. So let's talk real world application. This is my bag with my laptop. I'm traveling, this is my gear, this is my stuff. I don't want it gone. I need it, it's got my passport in
So
it.
you can't just let it go.
No. And that's why the thief knows that.
Right.
So they kind of, you start over here and just kind of walk past me and take it for yourself.
Okay.
Now, I got 2 hands and he has 2 hands. Is he committed? Looks like he
That's
is.
with it.
So now I want this. And there we are again. Because this is the monkey with his hand in the jar.
Right.
He's not going to let go of that, and that's going to cost him.
Right. And we're going super slow, so it looks like I'm letting you do this to me, but realistically, this throw is right away.
Very fast. So number 3 is going to be Osotogari.
Okay.
And since I know you're a striker, this is going to be something that can kind of be thrown into the mix there. It's a nice thing. So punch, punch, kick can be punch, punch, control, throw. Osotogari puts all of his weight on that leg and puts his head behind his leg and sweeps it out. This is the nice landing. He's landed on his side fall, and this is where they go breaking things and doing all this fun stuff. Okay. But this, like judo throws, is about head hitting the ground.
Right.
And this throw totally does this. There's a pull, makes that foot come out, and now his head is over the foot, and I got all of his weight over that leg. And this is where I'll come in, take that leg out.
Ooh. Yeah, that'd be me on concrete.
Yeah, and again, you're still falling side fall due to your training.
Yeah.
I'm hanging onto your arm because you're my friend.
Right.
As soon as I do it,
I go
you're all by
flat.
yourself.
Yeah. Cool.
So the way this kind of works in a street fight is where they'll be throwing some punches, and again, you want to just take a couple of moves to get into this 3rd ring here, and then you can start shoving it back. Now my shoulder into his shoulder, I'm pushing with my elbow into his shoulder over here, all to get his head behind his body, and there's your throw.
So this works great if you're dealing with someone who's just throwing those haymakers at you.
Very
They're
much so.
always giving you that open hip then. If they're throwing here, it takes a lot more work.
Yeah, that's, again, we're hoping we don't have to bring judo against a striker.
Right.
Even though you're a striker and you're using strikes, you're going to have to come in and avoid some of these moves,
Right.
and maybe even throw some punches to get in a position where I can do this throw
Right.
on you. But in a self-defense aspect,
I'm
there
probably
are
going to be.
haymakers and wild stuff and misplaced.
Right. But even if I was throwing straight punches, you could just parry and wipe them down, right? Like you give me a few straights,
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. They teach us that as the intro to coming in, splash and dive technique. So
Right.
these parries take a lot of sparring and practice,
Right.
and that's where this throw can come in wrong.
Right, because I'm coming in here, especially, I mean, I don't know why I'm so mad at you that I'm throwing boxing punches at you, but let's say I'm coming in here and I'm going bang, bang. I'm either catching forearm or I'm catching face, but either way, you got what you want.
There's
There.
that foot. Now I've won.
Nice. And that's one of the things I try to tell my students all the time, that you can eat a punch to the face, provided it's not like on the underside of the jaw. You're not going to explode if you get hit once or twice. I'll let you hit me in the forehead if it means I can get my grab and take you down.
Chess isn't won by losing no pieces.
Exactly. So we've already talked about if I come in here swinging at you.
Yeah.
Which is probably the easiest entry to it. But what if I
Yeah.
want to grab you? What if I want to come in here and just bring you out?
That's what it's about. I mean, when we're talking about self-defense, it can be the bully in the street throwing haymakers, but it can be just choking.
Right.
Because this throw is a back throw, this is where you want your attacker to be when you're going to apply this technique to him. So do a choke and staying calm, taking your step back. They're leaning back now. This gets his head behind him, and now I've come through. Breaking a choke is about getting both your arms through
Right.
that piece. And once we go through there, now his head's behind his leg, and now we are in position
Nice.
to do our throw. They're definitely concentrating on the choke, and so that
Right.
is a really good self-defense for chokes.
Yeah, if I'm committing both hands to do this, what I'm doing is flexing my arm, trying to keep you in place. Especially if there's a wall behind you, I want to keep you there.
Right. And so coming through here, pushing his head back, pushing your fingers into his throat is going to get the head behind the leg. And now we can keep going through.
There I go. And you're keeping calm when I choke you. You're not freaking out because you're not going to die immediately from a choke.
there's 4 arteries going in, 2 in the back, 2 in the front. This is typically the first 2,
Right.
and panic takes care of the rest.
Right.
All of us that are doing triangle chokes to people,
Yeah.
we do that front 2, and then we add that little bit to the back, which is why we get the tap.
Yeah. If you're used to being choked, you recognize that this two-handed choke is not nearly as scary as a rear naked choke, or even any of the other chokes.
Any of the other chokes.
Like
this is so TV.
Yeah, this one you're like, great, you just gave me a free throw.
How will I ever get out?
So there you have it, you guys. Those are just a few simple judo throws that we think will help keep you safe out in the streets. Brad, I want to thank you for coming out today. I feel like we all really learned a lot. I mean, I really learned a lot. I don't know about you guys. But as always, I want to thank you for making it. And guys, if you're looking for a channel that combines the practicality of combat sports, the reality of self-defense, and the fun of martial arts, then go ahead and subscribe. Your support would really help me out. And one last time, Brad, I just want to thank you for everything. Thanks a lot, brother.
You're welcome. Every time.